Right on. Well, good morning, soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines of the Ready First. And of course, good morning to the families as well, and the Gold Star families. As I think back to Ramadi, I think there's two feelings that we all likely remember when we think about doing operations in Ramadi. And the first feeling that comes to mind is the feeling of being surrounded. Because when we were out in the city, let there be no doubt, we were surrounded. And not in the same way that American forces were surrounded at Bastogne or the Chosin Reservoir or at Khe Sanh, but in Ramadi, we were definitely surrounded. The way that we were surrounded in Ramadi was that when you looked around, every window, every door, every rooftop was a potential threat, all of them. Wherever you looked, 300 meters away, 500 meters away, 5 meters away, there was a potential sniper, a potential machine gunner, or an RPG gunner that could have his sights on you and your friends. And then above us, in the sky, there was the constant threat of rockets and mortars falling out of the air without warning and sending their jagged metal shards of death in all directions. And then even below us, in the ground itself, lurked perhaps the most evil threat, the IEDs, the improvised explosive devices planted in the earth, camouflaged to be invisible and erupting with their destructive force that killed and maimed our brothers and sisters. So, on that battlefield, we were quite literally surrounded by enemy threats, above us, below us, and encircling us from all directions, everywhere. We were surrounded by the enemy. And we who were there will never forget that feeling. But on top of that feeling of being surrounded, there was another feeling, and this was a much better feeling. This was, in fact, a good feeling. Actually, it was one of the most comforting feelings that I've ever had in my life. And oddly enough, this feeling was also the feeling of being surrounded. Because, you see, as we were completely surrounded by the enemy, more important, we were surrounded by the most professional, courageous, and selfless group of warfighters that we could have ever imagined. And no matter what happened to an American in that city, help was but one radio call away. One transmission on the radio, and the full force of American combat power would break through the gates of hell to come and help. Sometimes that help was a platoon or a company or a squad that you've been working with for months. Sometimes that help was a platoon or a company or a squad that you had never met before. But it did not matter. When any American unit in that godforsaken city needed help, we were completely surrounded by our fellow warfighters from the Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marines who would risk their lives without question and without hesitation to help us every single time. And that's because this was a unified team of American services from sea, air, and land, all branches, all uniforms, one flag, and one mission. And it is an absolute honor to be here once again, surrounded by this team, the Ready First team, and to be able to say thank you to each and every one of you. Thanks to each of you who shared that battleground with us, and each of you who remembers the turmoil, the triumphs, and the tragedies. And yet, the ones we owe the most thanks to the ones we are eternally grateful for are the heroes that did not come home. The ones who gave everything for us so that we can be here today. And now, with the names of the fallen etched into eternity on this monument, we are ensured that we and the world will never forget them. We will never forget this bond of steel and sweat and fire and blood of those who stood by us, all of us, shoulder to shoulder in that fight. All of us together. Then, now, ready first, forever. And from Task Unit Bruiser, we're going to hear from the Gold Star mother of Mark Lee, who was the first SEAL killed in Iraq, the first SEAL killed in Ramadi, and his mom, our Mama Lee, will share her son's legacy. Her son, who, like all of these heroes, gave everything for us. So thanks to each and every one of you for your service and sacrifice. Ready first, one team, one fight. Thank you.